welcome back to the Sandy Trail. We are on season 2 of Sanditon, episode 4. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Happy New Year 2023. I hope you had a great start to the new year. Today is actually 2 days after Christmas. Right now as I'm filming this, and I decided to take the last week of 2022 to do episode 4, 5, 6 reviews, so it will be smooth sailing in January, and we should be done with Sandy Trail season 2 by the end of January. As far as I know right now, it looks like Sanditon season 3, final season, will be in March, and that might be before Went Halt the Heart season 10. I miss all the Hardys, but it looks like Sanditon season 3 gonna beat Went Halt the Heart first. So far from my 2023 plan for this YouTube channel will be Sandy Trail season 3, and then I will hop back to Went Halt the Heart. We shall see. So that's my plan so far for my channel. We should continue with episode 4 right now.
Of course, Captain. What was so important?
I shall require his permission, Fraser, if I'm to ask for Miss Hayward's hand.
Fraser is like starting to freak out, right? He's like, okay, first of all, you just know this girl, like, what, a couple of months, a month, I mean, you just met her. Second of all, he doesn't want Harder to get the opportunity to propose to Allison, and he knows that Allison would say yes to Harder, and that would be the end of it.
Look, Charlotte, do you suppose my captain is among them?
Your captain?
He is mine. His letters leave no room for doubt, and I am his.
How can you be certain after so brief an acquaintance?
Allison is falling for Harder pretty quickly. She is like head over heels in love with him, and Charlotte is worried about her, and she has every right to worry about her sister.
I know he has the soul of a poet. But he is handsome and brave, a man who saved 50 soldiers from drowning.
Yes, you have mentioned it. But
I think it's also important to keep in mind that the two girls are in Sanditon, the parents are not around, the rest of the family is back at home. So I'm pretty sure Mr. Hayward, the father, expects Charlotte not to only take care of herself, but also to watch out for Allison and protect her and just watch over her, especially when it comes to the matter of love and who she's settling down with.
sometimes it's hard to gain a sense of a man's true character. One may form an impression, and then hear something which counteracts it.
The way that Charlotte is saying these things, you can tell that it's from her own personal experience, and she basically talking about what happened the other day with Lennox.
Charlotte?
Yesterday, Colonel Lennox told me something deeply troubling about Mr. Colburn. I don't know what to make of it.
You can surely trust the Colonel.
Charlotte worries that what she's going through right now will possibly happen with Allison. So basically at the same time, she warning Allison, like, just be careful. Like, you know, there's a big decision you have to make if you want to marry him and be with him for the rest of your life. Like, you barely know him. I mean, you're falling in love with him pretty quickly, and you want to be sure that he's the right one and that he show his true self. Like, he's not hiding any secret or lying about himself. What Allison said, it tells me that she can be naive sometimes. Just because Lennox wears a uniform, everyone thinks he's a good man. They look to him with respect and admiration. So it shows that Allison rather trusts an army colonel over a man that, you know, still grieving over the death of his wife. So we'll see, who's telling the truth. Even Leonard, so it's, a different story that he's not telling Charlotte. There's always two sides to every story, right? And I'd rather have Allison. I wish Allison told Charlotte as a sister. Like, I'd rather have Allison tell Charlotte, like, okay, Leonard told you his side of the story. How about Mr. Holborn? Like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, give him an opportunity to explain himself. Or don't even ask him. Like, just wait and see if you have the opportunity to, open up a little bit more. Like, allow him to open up to you and talk to you about his late wife.
And you'll keep an eye out for anything that could be of use to me.
Of course, sir.
Okay, so here's the evil plan that Edward came up with for season 2, to attack Esther once again. If you keep going with it can ruin the marriage between Esther and Lord Babington. We'll see how long Edward can do this to the both of them. This is very wicked. Very, very wicked what he's doing to them.
He claimed he was a relative of my father's. He argued that because of my maternity, I was unfit to receive my inheritance. He questioned my moral character and that of my mother.
Who is this odious man?
We've yet to learn his name.
So Georgiana finally received news from her father lawyer. The lawyer found something, basically a big update as to, why Sydney was there and, what was going on in Antigua that is associated with Georgiana herself.
But mercifully, his suit failed in the Antiguan courts, if only because of your brother's efforts.
Dear Sydney.
There is one relative who believes I am unworthy. Who's to say there won't be a dozen more?
So Sydney did the last ultimate big thing for Georgiana, and what a way to die. I mean, Georgiana and Sydney did not have the best relationship. He died unexpectedly. It wasn't on purpose. Unfortunately, he got that disease and died, and he died with a bang, like a good bang, and it's just a nice way for him to leave this earth, doing something really, really good for Georgiana, and I'm pretty sure that he hoped that they would kind of mend the relationship, even though he already died. But I think for Georgiana herself, I think she appreciated his effort and what he did for her.
Then you must prove them wrong. In how you live your life, in how you conduct yourself.
You are suggesting the fault lies with me. Were I white and a man, who would question my legitimacy?
I think Georgiana took what Mary said the wrong way. She thought, it's about her skin color, but it's more than that. It's about her name, her father's name that she holds. I mean, her father's reputation falls onto her hand. Her name is, that family name of her father. Second of all, she has a lot of money, a lot of assets. She has great fortune. Mary just thinking about the future. Like, if a second person do this to you, like, what you gonna do? I mean, you have to be ready, be prepared. You have to protect yourself, because anyone can easily take advantage of Georgiana and try to sue her and take away all that she had away from her.
I am afraid there will always be those who seek to undermine you, my dear. We are merely asking you not to fuel the fire.
Sydney saved Georgiana butt the first time, but the second time around, Sydney is not around anymore. So Georgiana, would be on her own. And this also relate to the importance of the man that she'll be settling down with. And I think that's why Mary, you have to pick the right man that will protect you and protect your name, your reputation and your fortune. Like, you need a man that you can trust and that he will support you and not go against you if anything happens.
Has Dr. Fuchs' tincture had any discernible effect?
It's rather too soon to tell.
Oh, goodness me.
This scene further proves that Clara is neglecting her son. She barely pick him up. She barely feed him. She barely hold him. She just doesn't want to have this close relationship with her newborn son. And she only picked up her baby when Lady Denham and Esther came into the room, just to show that she's a happy mom and that she's excited to be a mom and that she just loves her son. But she really doesn't at the moment.
I suspect he is hungry.
Indeed.
Martha?
You see the contrast between Clara and Esther. Like, this is not Esther's baby, but she had this, like, easygoing, motherly nature about her. Like, she's like, maybe your baby is hungry. Like, what are you doing? I'm pretty sure Esther is picking up these clues of how Clara is adjusting to motherhood.
Has anything come for me?
No, still nothing, I'm afraid. I'm sure you'll hear from Lord Babington soon enough.
Esther knows her husband. I mean, she's like, he passionate, he loves me. Like, what is going on? Like, he never misses writing a letter to her, and like, she knows him really well. So she's just thinking, like, what's going on with the postal system? But we know that Edward is scheming against her and against Lord Babington. I mean, what he's doing will affect Esther and her husband. Her husband will not like that at all.
What are you doing? If your uncle hears you.
It was he who unlocked it. He who had it tuned.
First thing first, Charlotte looking up to that portrait of Mr. Heybourne, late wife. I felt like a lot of thoughts were rushing through her mind in this moment, in that moment. First thing first, what Lennox told her about what happened in the past. I mean, like, who would like that, you know? She probably thinking, like, am I reading this wrong? Like, do I have the wrong impression of Mr. Heybourne? Should I trust him or should I trust Lennox? But she doesn't have the full story. Like, she needs to hear it from Mr. Heybourne if she ever had that opportunity. I mean, she doesn't want to push it, but, you know, that question, like, who do you trust? Second of all, Mr. Heybourne was an important woman in Mr. Heybourne's life. They fell in love, they got married, they share a daughter, Leonora, and they seem to have a wonderful life before she died. Her death, you know, what happened surrounding her death is still a bit of a mystery for Charlotte. But on the other hand, after that cornflower moment between Mr. Heybourne and Charlotte started to have this, like, unexpected feeling toward him. So looking up to that portrait of his late wife, I think it's normal to say that, you know, Charlotte probably thinking, like, what would she think of me, you know? Would she be happy if Mr. Heybourne find happiness again and settle down with a different woman and have a second marriage, which is possibly Charlotte, you know? Would she like Charlotte to be his second wife? And of course, the importance of Augusta and Leonora, if they'll be accepting to the idea of seeing their dad, uncle get married again, possibly to Charlotte. There's a different ball game for Charlotte. When she fell in love with Sydney, like, Sydney did get into a serious relationship with his ex-girlfriend, and then she kind of, like, ditched him for this older guy with more money, but she didn't die. It's just like a heartbreak. But this is a different ball game. This guy got married already. He has a daughter. He has a niece, and his wife died. And just something that's very sensitive to talk about within his house. So it's a different experience that Charlotte is going through. And if she does, become the new Mrs. Heybourne, there'll be baggage that come with it because Mr. Heybourne needs to be ready for a second marriage. I mean, that mental headspace, is he mentally ready to fall in love again?
Oh. Well, that is unexpected. But welcome. Now we can have dancing lessons.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this entire scene is that it's truly a turning point. By the end of episode 3, that picnic moment between Charlotte, his, and Mr. Heybourne, that was truly a turning point for him and his family. And now we get to see more of that by being in that piano room. And that piano is freely open. Anyone can play it. There's no getting in trouble with it. And Charlotte, she didn't want to get into another argument with her boss. She's like, what are you guys doing? And feel the difference. That room is freedom and joy and lovely music playing again in that room. And the shades are open, the sun coming in. It's just a happier days ahead, especially in that room. And now they're gonna start to learn dancing, and that's a fun thing to do. There's no more sadness in that room, and Leonora is excited, and Charlotte really happy for them. Oh, I forgot to mention in the last episode that Leonora stick with the dresses, so she is trying her best to be ladylike, and now they're learning how to dance, and that is ladylike. So at the same time, while Charlotte teaching them the importance of being independent and strong women and being educated, Charlotte still respects Mr. Heybourne's request to have these two girls be taught in how to be a woman, ladylike, dancing, how to be a proper woman when they are ready to be introduced into society. Augusta is at the door. She's ready to go out there, but she does need some lesson from Charlotte in regard to becoming a proper woman.
I thought I commissioned a painting, not a sketch.
I have to discover who you are first, before I can commit to the canvas.
Georgiana, she's not very easy to open, be vulnerable. So when he said that he wants to discover her first, I think that's something that she might not be comfortable with.
Were Adam and Eve not naked in the Garden of Eden, bearing all before God? One might say, this is the Lord's true vision of us.
Don't give the artist any ideas.
It's a bit surprising that they're doing this at Mr. Lockhart home, not Georgiana home or in a public setting, especially when it comes to Mary and Miss Henkin, especially Mary, how she's very protective of Georgiana and who she hang out with. But being at Mr. Lockhart home is intimate enough.
I'm not asking you to bare your skin, Miss Lamb, but to bare your soul. You offer me Miss Lamb, but I wish to find Georgiana.
Georgiana not gonna show Georgiana. She's gonna stick to Miss Lamb, the version of everyone in public that knows Georgiana. Whoever you see in her in public, that how she wanted to be viewed in this painting, in this picture that Mr. Lockhart is drawing for her. He asking her for a deeper meaning, a deeper interpretation of who she truly is deep inside of her. But more than that, as a friend, he knows that she had that different side of her that no one really sees or no one understands, that she doesn't show that often. He knows that she hiding a lot inside of her and that she just needs to release them all and be confident in her thoughts and how she view herself, like be confident in the body and skin and soul that she has.
You will address me as Miss Lamb.
And I think it's just a matter of like be true to yourself. Like, you know, who cares about what other people say, but just be true to yourself and who you are and who you want to be and how you want to live your life. He just had that sense of like, this girl is hiding something. Like, she's just not out of her shell. She's not out of her comfort zone.
Martha? Will you take the child for a walk? I cannot bear that noise. Or I could take him.
Esther is filling in to be the mom of that baby boy. Clara kind of like a bit surprised that Esther willing to help. She seen this as like Esther being really nice to her when she doesn't expect Esther to be that nice to her. But Clara hasn't know yet about what happened to Esther a few months back with her stillborn daughter.
No, you are so stiff, I might as well be drawing Lady Denham.
Then perhaps you should.
I am looking for passion. Emotion, honesty. Not some stale, lifeless rendering.
What an interesting comparison he just said between Lady Denham and Georgiana. Georgiana getting frustrated too, she's getting impatient. It's just a lack of progress is happening in this scene, and Laka is just trying to find an alley, an avenue where he can find that hidden gem that he's trying to find to get him inspired, to get him started, to just kick in that that positive vibe to get this drawing be done with and to truly capture who she is.
Tell me something true about yourself.
What?
Your childhood. A happy memory. Talk of your father. Your mother.
They're both dead.
He doesn't want to do the job like with poor efforts. Like he really wants to do his very best to do this painting for her. She is technically paying him for it, but at the same time, like I said earlier, like a therapy session, the type of project that they're doing together is very intimate, very vulnerable. It's honest work. You know, you guys show emotion and passion and just be comfortable in your own skin and be yourself. And Georgiana, you know, have a hard time doing that in this moment.
What did you dream of last night?
That is none of your concern.
There. That is something. Your mask slipped.
What did she dream of? My guess was she dreamed about Mr. Lockhart, so maybe that's why she never answered his question.
Come, Miss Hankins. We're leaving.
She basically quit, I think, and that smirk on her face at the end, I was just thinking maybe he was thinking of that possibility, like, oh, maybe she dreamed about me. But, yeah, this duo is an interesting dynamic. We went through that oldest Georgiana Sydney triangle drama in season 1, and now here we are season 2, and I thought it was just a fresh storyline for Georgiana in season 2 when Mr. Lockhart came along, and now here we are at this point. Yeah, it's just what do you dream of last night? I mean, that's like a level 100 question. I mean, that's like way too personal for her to answer. And she's just like, you are not crossing the line today, buddy. And so she just left.